friends, Zoe here. Wow, it feels so interesting to finally sit down and film this video. I have been meaning to do it for quite some time, but I haven't felt the energy. So I've been gone from my main channel for longer than I ever have since I started YouTube. So over 5 years, I've remained quite consistent through that entire process, posting at least 1 to 2 videos per week, and I've taken a couple months off. So this video is going to be addressing where I've been, because I've been navigating quite a bit emotionally and also physically. I live in a completely different place now. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so this video is signifying the relaunch of my main channel, my Zoey Arielle channel. Those of you guys who might have been following along a bit more closely or who do follow me on Instagram know that I moved to Bali, and I have actually been vlogging this process, posting 1 video a week at least on my vlog channel, which I'll leave down below if you're curious. It's called Zoey in Bali. So where have I been and why haven't I been posting, and where did my consistency go? Where did my energy go? All of that. What I came to understand this week, because sometimes we just need to call things for what they are, is that I have been burnt out. I have been completely burnt out when it comes to content creation, producing. I admitted this to myself on Monday night with a coaching session that I had with my coach, because I've been struggling since I moved to Bali in particular. I had this idea in my head that I was going to be super motivated, I was going to be next level productive, I was going to be having all these gains in my business, and I was going to be so inspired by my surroundings that I would just be producing YouTube videos all the time and feeling really into that. But at the root of it is, I think back to the last decade of my life. I went straight from undergrad to post-grad, moved to Toronto, and I went straight from post-grad into the corporate world, where those of you who might be familiar with entering into like the corporate world, is that at the beginning there's such this hustle, prove it mentality of way of being, because your job is sought out by many and you could lose it at any time. And when you are entry level, essentially you're somewhat disposable, because there's new students being flushed out of the system every single day, ready and hungry for work. And so I developed many different aspects and ways of being that perhaps I've always had in different levels, of needing to prove it, needing to hustle, right? Not recognizing the power in turning off and resting. And I think back to then when I left the corporate world and I made my entrepreneurial leap and moved to Rome, bought that one-way ticket, I spent every spare moment that I had hustling to make it work, whether it was freelance gigs, whether it was creating YouTube videos, whether it was doing research, planning things, taking trips, producing. It just sort of became this way of being and this way of life that sunk into every day. So there was no longer this differentiation of what was work and what was play. I was enjoying it for the majority of the time, but I actually was running in fight or flight mode a lot. And then I came back to Toronto, I built more foundational aspects of my business, and I still never shut off, right? The only break that I actually have taken in the last 8 years, more than a day off of work, was a Vipassana meditation retreat in Joshua Tree, and that was 2.5 years ago. And coming to Bali, I really felt like, okay, I only want to work a couple days a week. And since getting here, I have pretty much committed to that schedule on the aspect of like, I don't book calls any other days than those days. But I've still been working each day, trying to, right, answering emails, being on my computer. And what I've come to realize, and what I called out with my coach, is that I'm severely burnt out with the way that I've been living my life, right? It all served a purpose, it all worked, right? I gained the dream life, the vision that I had for myself. I achieved all of my goals, and now I'm in Bali, Indonesia, and this is where I live now. And I am so blessed to have this life, but I've now given myself permission to feel what my body is feeling. And it is this deep, and has been this deep exhaustion. I went through a dark night of the soul the last year that, yeah, had a lot of rest, but I was still working all the time. I put myself into school to fill that space and time, and now I actually have space and time in my life to rest, to rejuvenate, to follow the things that feel good to me and that aren't connected to a computer screen and working and hustling and building things and building this momentum. I take joy and I take pleasure in that, and I will continue to create content because I love it, but I want it to solely come from that space where I love it. And I think burnout was so difficult for me to acknowledge because I didn't want to admit to that defeat, right? Because the identity for so long has been tied to working, producing, ticking things off the to-do list, that me admitting that like I'm burned out is like the ultimate, the ego just does not want to go there, because I spent so many years hustling and there was a payoff. There was a payoff of I was accomplishing things, I was making money, I was building things. I see how it all served a purpose, but right now is what I'm saying, and what I want to reflect back to you is that I wasn't tuned into the body. I was not listening to the body. I was listening to the mind, and I was allowing the mind to run the life, right? Where I just think back and I'm like, you know what, perhaps if I would have given myself permission to have a little bit more balance, I wouldn't feel so tired right now. And by tired, I mean like I'm still going out and going surfing, I'm going to the gym, and I'm having a lot of fun out here in Bali and Canggu, where I am now. But what I'm saying is like, I think to the hustle, the working culture, let's say, and I feel exhausted. I still feel exhausted for Zoe, who was jet setting around Europe creating content years ago. I think about that version of myself and I literally feel exhausted for her. So right now, I just wanted to hop on here and let you guys know that I'm coming back. I needed to take a break. I'm still going to be tending to my body, but sometimes just naming the thing, like me naming the burnout on Monday, has actually allowed me to be here right now filming a video talking to you guys about it. Because what you resist persists. I resisted rest for so long in my life that like all of a sudden I had no energy to create things. The creativity was gone. I was feeling scared about that. And now since I've given myself permission, yeah, you know what? No wonder you're feeling like you don't have energy when you've just expended so much. You've been fight or flight mode, you've been everywhere but your body in ways, right? So no wonder you feel tired. Sometimes naming it gives us that permission slip to love ourselves more deeply, to feel more compassionately with ourselves, and what has allowed me to feel inspired to create this video for you guys right now, right? Coming back to the beginning of it, where I just turned on my camera and I shared my life with you guys. And that's the intention moving forward, again, with this main channel relaunch, is I'm just gonna continue doing what I was doing before, not judging it. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm far from perfect. Just sitting in front of the camera as I am right now, telling you about my life and the things that I've learned, in hopes that it can help you connect dots in your own life so that you can, liberate yourself in different ways. You can have those awarenesses, you can have those shifts, those epiphanies, whatever I might be granting for you right now, and move forward with your life with more ease and love in different ways. Love for yourself, love for everything around you. So I am back, amores. I am back, and I am also on my vlog channel if you're curious about the day-to-day life in Bali, but on the Zoey Arielle channel. As always, you can expect beautiful life lessons, spiritual story times, manifestation, all that good stuff that I love to talk about. And thanks for sticking around, even when I haven't been here. That means a lot to me. And thank you to those of you who have continued to support me on Instagram or sending me messages, DMs, and are following along on the vlog channel. It means so much to me that you care, that you feel good in my energy, and sending you all love wherever you're at. Bye.